Okay. Very good afternoon. I welcome you for the next lecture on form. We are discussing friends, chapter number 4 and production and operation management. And in last lecture, we have started loading. In loading, we have discussed first about this Gantt chart. So Gantt chart is used both for loading and scheduling. This is why the name is given, because it is originated by American engineer Henry Gantt. Therefore, the name is given. It consists of simple rectangular grid divided in by parallel, horizontal, and vertical lines. The vertical lines again divide the chart into units of time. So if there is one vertical line, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, it will be divided. Then the parallel lines divide the chart into sections, which can be used to represent either work task or work center. So there are many parallel lines. So for example, you can consider this as one of the lathe as the one work center. Then you can consider drilling as the one work center. So one line for lathe machine work center, one line for drilling machine work center. Like these different lines can different lines for or different these blocks for different work task or for different work center. And for any one lathe machine, again you will find that slots 1, 2, like these horizontal lines are in between. So they are defining the what is the task allocated to that particular machine. Ease and clarity in communicating important shop information. So whatever the shop information is there, if you have a look toward this Gantt chart, you will easily come to know, and it is very clear that what is the information as far as work center is concerned, what is the load for that work center, and what is the schedule of it. So you will come to know all these things by having a look toward this Gantt chart. Just wait. Okay, so there are 4 jobs which are to be processed on 3 work centers. So now work center may be a sheet metal here considered, then second is considered as electrical, and third is as paint. So very a simple example is taken, and on these 3 work centers, a job is required to be processed, and 4 jobs are there. Now it is depending upon the sequence that whether the job will go for sheet metal, electrical, or paint. There are some cases that one of the job may not go on sheet metal, or one of the job may not go for that electrical. So depends. It is depending upon the job sequence, what is the requirement of that particular job. So here you can see A. So sheet metal up to for certain time, it is number of days. So I assume that, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So number of days are there. So for 2 days or 2.5 days, the sheet metal A job, then electrical, then paint. Then you will say, sir, how it is possible that one job at 3 times? It is a batch type. So it is not only one job. A types of jobs are there that will be loaded on this. Then sheet metal after A, B job will be loaded. Electrical, C job will be loaded. And paint, B job will be loaded. So the B job will not go for electrical as far as this sequencing is concerned. Then the C job, here C, and on paint C, and then D, D, D. So you can come to know that the sheet metal, it is having next, it is for that, let us assume that a 10-day schedule is there for this particular sheet metal. Okay, then this may be for you can assume that 9 days, and this may be you can assume for this maybe 6 days. So the electrical is that work center is busy for 6 days, then the sheet metal schedule for 10 days, and paint schedule for 9 days. This is just for simplicity. It may be for 1 month. If you take a look toward the chart, you will come to know. So this is nothing but this loading and scheduling. So loading, which job is loaded on which work center, loading, and scheduling for what time or what days and what is the sequence. So here idea about sequence can be taken from this case also. So this is the one of the job. Again, this may be vertical, horizontal, different cases may be there. In many of the industry, you can see this as in vertical lines also. So I will show you, just wait. Okay, so before proceeding, I will show you. So you can consider this as the one of the another case also, and in this case you can go for like this representation, and you can, in our term, you can call this as the lathe machine. This is job number 1, 2, 3, 4. It is the category given to that particular jobs. Then here you can say the number of days. So like this, you can go for the complete month calendar. So you can say this December month calendar, and number of days are there. And second, here you can see, assume this as the drilling machine. So here you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then first job will not be 6 jobs will not be loaded on this particular lathe machine. Assume that 8 jobs are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 jobs are there. So but lathe operations are more. So 2 lathe machines are used and 1 drilling machine is used. And after this, the job will go to. So this is also one of the Gantt chart you can see. So this is nothing but the workstation, lathe, and the drilling, and how they will be loaded. So this is just one example. Like this in industry, more you can say the critical examples you will get where this Gantt chart plays very significant role. By having a look towards this Gantt chart, you will come to know what is the load for that particular machine for this complete 1 month, or maybe beyond that, complete job schedule. So it may be 2-3 months also it can be loaded, because if the job cycles are having more lengthy, then the schedule may be for 2-3 months also. So like this is the significance of this particular Gantt chart. Okay friends, now moving to next, visual load profiles. So here it is also a graph comprising workloads and capacities on time scale. So this is also a graph, but it will show you the what is the workload and what is the capacity with respect to time. So there are two types. In manual scheduling system, the load consists of open orders, that is existing orders from the customer assigned to work center. So in manual scheduling system, this visual profile will show you existing what are the orders now, and what is the status as far as this all orders are concerned, as per as the different work centers are concerned. So in industry, for example, there are 15 work centers. Small scale industry, you consider 1, 5, 15. Then the complete distribution of that whatever current orders are there on that particular 15 work centers, it will be represented this manual scheduling system. And in computer based scheduling system, the load consists of open orders and plan orders, as this is a computer based. So you can see, just take the example of ERP system, SAP, no problem. So in this ERP system, whatever these current orders are there, that also considered. But whatever the plan orders, means order is in hand, you release some advance bill payment toward the company is made, and the order is material is yet to receive the shop after 15 days. But you come to know you it is guaranteed that there will be the material after 20 days, and next 3 months will be busy as per as the different work centers in this complete job sequence and the complete order is concerned. So what are the current orders and what are the planned orders, prospective orders from the customer? So this is also undertaken, and friends, it is computer based scheduling system. These visual load profiles will indicate these orders also. So manual scheduling system have some limitations as compared to this computer based system. And visual load profile, by having a look, you will come to know all these things. So Gantt chart related to only one of the work center or limited scope, the visual load profiles have a vast scope. It is, you can say, the more and more advanced version and having more things involved in the visual load profile. So this is about the visual load profiles. Let us move friends further. When there are overload, some of the load will be shifted to alternative work center. There are two ways this can be done. See, overloading condition in the shop floor, it may be there. You take any of the work center, any of the machines, whatever you plan, there are some variations may be there due to failure or due to some order become important at the 11th hour, etc. And then some machine or some work center will call it as overloading, and we have to shift some of the load to the alternative work center. So how this load can be shifted to some other alternative work center? So you can see there are two approaches: lot splitting and operation splitting. So lot splitting, friends, in which a job order is split and only part of it processed now and others are processed later. Assume that 100 jobs are there, and on one machine we are processing the 100 jobs, and the monthly demand is 30, 30, 30. So in this case, whatever the current demand is there, that 30 can be processed now for January and giving further, that 30 will be processed further for next operations, and whatever the 70 lot is there, which can be processed after some time, process later, maybe after 15th of January, because if you will process now or you will process in on 15th of January, the next 30 lot will be dispatched in the month of February. So that is why this decision can be taken depending upon the situation, demand and delivery schedules. Then operation splitting, processing part of the job on work center and rest at the other. This I have given you already example. So here, friends, you can see, consider that sorry, CNC lathe machine example we have considered. So in that CNC lathe machine, if general purpose ordinary lathe machines 30 work centers available in that particular workshop or any of the company, and only 2 CNC lathes are available, and there are some stringent requirement where that assume that 30 millimeters plus minus 100 microns, or let us say 50 microns. This is the tolerance, and it is very difficult, or again if you want to achieve by ordinary lathe, it will take some more time, because the operator will check many times, okay, one cut achieved or not, and something like this. So and again he will be in pressure that we have to achieve this target. So what will happen? The speed will get reduced due to more conscious, because the stringent tolerances and the limitations of the ordinary or general purpose lathe machine to produce that stringent tolerances, capacity limitations. So here CNC is required, and now only 2 CNCs are there. So what should be done? So it is the case that 30 plus minus 50 microns. What is the capacity of ordinary lathe machines, which very you can say standard routine, no any load, no any tension to the operator, by assuming all the standard conditions. By assuming all this, if you can say that okay, 0.1 can be possible. So 30 plus 0.1, or let us say 0.2. So 30.2. This is the target given to that particular all lathe machines. The jobs will be produced by completing the remaining removal of material and bringing it to 30.2. What is remaining, friends? Just loading it on CNC machine, and 30.2, and we require 30.05. So only 150 micron material removal will be there on lathe machine. If that shop floor is having more confidence, and okay, no problem, we will go for 30.1, and only last finish cut we will give to CNC, again no problem. If anyone will say that sir 30.2 is also no, we will go for 30.5 on general purpose. 30.5 means what? Whatever in type of forging will be there or round bar will be there, then cutting the round bar and loading it on CNC machine, whether it will be 100% round or not, maybe some ovality, and then rough machining, then final machining, and bringing it to the dimension 30.2 or 30.3, and last only 150 or 200 microns material removal rate by using the help of CNC. This will reduce the time of CNC also, and the 30 lathe machines and 2 CNCs can be balanced. So this we will call it as operation splitting, processing a part of the job in work center and rest at the other. So this example can be considered for operation splitting. Now priority sequencing. There are problems also related to the sequencing. So we will discuss the term and then we will go for the numericals also. When the job complete, participate for work centers capacity, which job should be done next? One job is over, we have to load the next job. What is next? Priority sequence rules are applied to all jobs waiting in the sequence. So there are assumed that 10 jobs are waiting. Then when the work center become open for the job, one with highest priority is assigned. So 10 jobs are there on one machine, one work center. The priority will be decided, which is the highest priority job. And that job will be loaded as the next, and again remaining 9 will be waiting. And up to that finishing of that job, again one more will be in queue, and again 10 will be balanced. So this is priority sequencing. Priority sequencing is a systematic procedure for assigned priorities to waiting jobs, thereby determining the sequence in which the jobs will be performed. So it is procedure of assigning priorities which are waiting, which are in queue, that they are going to process for next operation on that particular work center, thereby determining the sequence in which the jobs will be performed. So this is nothing but the priority sequencing. Choosing the criteria for sequencing. So here what should be okay, sorry for the interruption. So setup cost, choosing the criteria for sequencing. What should be the criteria for sequencing? So the criteria, there are different criteria. So depending upon the what is the more appropriate as per as the job is concerned, it is applied. So setup cost. Setup cost involves loading of the job on that particular machine. This is the one of the criteria for sequencing. What is the time required for setting up the jobs? What are the jigs and pictures required? It is not the case that all jobs will set as it is loading on the simple data machine. So what are the additional things required? Okay, in process inventory. After loading the job, one job, what is the time required and what is the in process inventory as per as the processing of that particular job on a particular work center is concerned. And as far as processing of that job is concerned, what is the in process inventory of that job as far as previous and next operation is concerned? Then idle times. What is the idle time for that particular job? Average time to complete the job. One job is loaded on one machine. What is the average time to complete that operation on that particular work center? What is the average time for complete the job on next work center? So this is average time to complete job. And then if you will add all these, then it will give you the complete work cycle time or complete job time in which the job can be manufactured from raw material to final stage. Then average number of jobs waiting in the queue. This is also very, very important. Now, if I will load one job, the job timing is 10 hours for processing. So if I will load such a job on one machine, let us say horizontal boring center, then next 10 jobs, no other job can be loaded on that machine. It indicates the remaining jobs will be in queue for next 10 hours. So can the job shifted to any other machine, and wherever the job are having timing like half hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes can be loaded to this machine like this, etc., etc. It depends. There are many factors. Average time the jobs are late. This is also very, very important. The job should be loaded on that particular machine today at 1 o'clock. The job will be loaded, assume that or I will take past tense example. The job loading time was on Monday. Today is Thursday. Approximately 4 day delay. You assume that around time 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly 4 day delay is there. So like this is also one of the important parameter, that which job is lagging by what time. The most lagging job, if it is having most priority and demand from the customer, then we have to process that job. So these are the some of the criteria. For any one case 2 3 may be applicable, for any one case only one may be applicable, for any one case this is a combination that which should be applicable. So these are the some of the criteria for sequencing. Next we will now priority sequencing rules. What are the different rules based on which this priority sequencing is done? So here first come first served. So you might have learned something in this operation research OR subject. So first come first served gives top priority to the waiting job that arrived earliest in the production system. It is queue system. The job which is first come, it will be next. So now 10 jobs are there. Out of that 10, which job was first arrived to that machine, it will be taken first. Which arrived at second, it will be taken second. So very simplest rule, and its cycle will proceed. Earliest due date, second criteria, give the top priority to the waiting job whose date is earliest, whose due date is earliest. For example, though 10 jobs are waiting, one of the job is there whose due date is after 3 days. And if you compare the other remaining jobs, not a single job is there which is required in this week. So this is the criteria which will give that priority to the earliest due date. It is required to dispatch to the customer within 3 days. So this job is required to take first. This is important. Shortest processing time. This is again one of the different criteria. So least time required on that particular work center. Give top priority to the waiting job whose operation time of work center is shortest. Shortest means what? 10 jobs are there. Minimum time is loading time 3 minutes, processing time 5 minutes, and removing time 1 minute. So in 9 minutes that job is going out. And if you compare the other 9 jobs, it may be half hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 9 hours, etc. So this is one of the criteria, that shortest processing time. Let the job go for next processing. Least slack. Slack is calculated as the difference of length of time remaining until the job is due and the length of this time operation. So it is somewhat related to point number 2. Length of the time remaining. 3 days are there with that particular job, and length of its operation time. Not on this particular machine. This particular machine it will take 4 hours, but still more 20 hours are required to complete the job, and only 3 days are in our hand. We are running only one shift per day. So 8 3s are 24. So what should be done? So if such condition is there, that job is taken first. So slack is calculated, the difference between the remaining time. So that job is required to dispatch after 24 hours. And what is the operation time remaining for that particular job? So 20 hours operation time is required for that particular job. So 24 minus 4. It is the 4 hours only. So it is very less. So such job is given priority. This is least slack. Then longest processing time. It is shortest, third one. So fifth one is that longest processing time. What is this longest? Name only indicate that the processing time is more. The priority is given to such job. If the job is of 9 minutes and one is of 10 hours, the processing time is given 10 hours, and the 10-hour job, the cycle is after again only 5 days. So in next 5 days, that 10-hour job will not be loaded on the machine. Then once that most time consuming job is finished, this is the strategy of management to management. Shortest processing, longest processing. Whatever require longest time, finish it, and then we will play with the short jobs. Okay, taking short first, increasing the number, feeling better. Okay, out of 100, 90 are over, but that 10 are remaining having very longer time. So it is the strategy of management, how to take this as a shortest processing or longest processing. Then preferred customer order. This is very, very important. In many of the films you might have heard, let it be for dialogue purpose. Still, I want to take the sentence that you are our one of the preferred customer. So preferred customer, for example, a business is there of any firm, and that business is of let us assume simple example, 1 crore turnover, very simple. So one of the company XYZ, that XYZ orders in 1 year, out of that 1 crore, the 70 lakh share is of that XYZ company. So if you have to take the decision, 70% of your orders are from that XYZ company. So here you one company that will go for the preferred customer, irrespective of first come first serve, earliest, shortest, longest processing times, like whatever, because XYZ is our preferred customer and my 70% is due to only them. Therefore, irrespective of all other points, my first priority will be that XYZ company. This is also one of the sequencing rules or criteria that can be considered. So these are the different criteria can be considered for deciding the priority. So it is mentioned that priority sequencing rules. Now sequencing problems. So we will see the details. Some steps are there, and then we will solve one numerical. The sequencing problem arises whenever there is a need for determining an optimum order of performing a number of jobs by number of facilities according to some pre-assigned order, so as to optimize the output in terms of cost, time, and profit. So I have already discussed with you this, when it is required to determine the optimum order of performing, that 10 jobs are there, and these 10 jobs having various importance, various deadlines there, and optimize the output in terms of cost, time, and profit. The company's cost also should be optimized, the delivery time should be optimized, and the profit, if you optimize this, ultimately profit will be optimized. So this is sequencing problem. So if 10 jobs are arriving for that 1 or 2 machines, then the sequence should be done in such a way that in order to achieve this cost, time, and profit goals. The production of finished good from raw material consists of several operations to be performed in a given sequence. Frequently, similar operations are required for several products are performed on the same workstation, particularly in intermittent or batch production. So now we have already discussed that we have discussed the example of hammer, then we have discussed many examples of automobiles, etc. So starting from raw material is consist of several operations. Let us assume that 10 operations are there. Again, a sequence is there that which operation is performed first, second, third, fourth, fifth, like this. And the similar operations required to perform on the same workstation. If you have loaded the job on a lathe machine, then it is required that you go for some turning, then facing, then some drilling, rimming, and knurling, and if required, threading also. So 6 operations perform on one workstation, and intermittent and batch production. So maybe frequently they will be approached, or they will be approaching in batch production. So in such circumstances, it is required to select the preferred order for passing the jobs on workstation. So if all the jobs are on one workstation, for example, lathe, and if there is a batch of 1000, then is it the case that you will allot 10 lathe machines and all the jobs on one lathe, means taper turning, turning is there, facing is there, then drilling, then boring, then knurling, and on another side threading. So if you will go all these operations on one lathe machine, some problem may be there, because changing all these things. So the problem becomes complicated when several workstations serve many products. So you have to go for several workstations. And again, there are many products. Now this I have given you only one example for any one of the jobs. So like this again, 7-10 different category of jobs are there. So many jobs, many workstations, and one workstation performing many problems or many operations. So the problem becomes complicated and complicated. And here we have to go for sequencing the preferred order of the product passing through workstation, and the criteria should be minimum total processing time. Total processing time. So this for sequencing this, so criteria should be minimum total processing time. Okay, there are some assumptions, so we will discuss. So here, no machine can process more than one job at a time. Okay, one job is loaded on one machine at one time. Processing times are independent of processing of jobs. So there are different jobs processed on different workstation from one batch, or many different variety of jobs will be processed on different workstation. The processing times are independent of all these things. Each job once started on machine is continued till completion of it. It is not the case that partially turning on this, partially turning on that, or some whatever is assigned, whatever operation is decided on that particular lathe machine. So it should be completed. Each job once started on one machine is continued till completion of it. Whatever desired, it should be completed. Time involved in moving a job from one machine to another is negligibly small. So whatever the material handling from lathe to drilling, drilling to milling, milling to grinding, grinding to turning, etc., whatever, this time is neglected, negligibly small, not considered. So these are the assumptions considered, that one machine will produce means one job at a time on one machine. Then the whatever operation is desired, it will be continued on that particular machine until it gets completed. And the time involved in moving a job from one machine to another machine is not considered, means that material handling time is eliminated, not taken in account for this. So these are the some assumptions. The satisfactory solutions are available for the following problems. So there are different problems. So here 4 cases are given and the satisfactory solution available for these cases. So if you can see here, n jobs and 2 machines, n indicate the jobs. So here you can see, okay, n jobs and 2 machines, n jobs and 3 machines, means 2 work center, 3 work center, and n number of jobs are there. Now 2 jobs and m machines and n jobs and m machines. So only 2 jobs are there and many machines are there, and many jobs and many machines. So as per as the scope of our study, we will discuss first 2 cases. Second 2 cases, the job will go in your the problems which you have already learned in the operation research, that assigning task and etc. So that first 2 categories of problems will there, that we will be discussing now. Okay, so Johnson's algorithm is there, n job and 2 machines problem. So category number 1, n job and 2 machines problem. So many jobs are there and machine A, machine B, or machine M1, M2, or M and N, whatever. So there are only 2 machines A and B. Each job is processed in the order A and B. Only 2 machines A and B. Each job is processed in the order A and B. In the numerical also it may be given. Then the processing times of n jobs on each of the 2 machines is known. The processing time, what is the time required for first case, first job on machine A, on machine B? What is the time required for second job on A and B? What is the time required for 10th job on A and B? 50th job on A and B? N jobs are there. It's all processing timings are known. The problem is to find the order in which the n jobs are to be processed to minimize the total elapsed time and complete all n jobs. So what is our target here? All the processing times are given. So we want to finalize the order in which, let us assume that 5 jobs are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how these 5 jobs are required to be processed in order to minimize the total elapsed time to complete all n jobs, total elapsed time for that particular job. We will take one problem and you will come to know all these things. Procedure. So there are different steps. So first step is select the smallest processing time from the given list of processing times, A1, A2, B1, B2, Bn. So let me tell you, 5 different jobs are there, and the 5 jobs the timing is given. So let me clear what is that time. Smallest processing time. So 5 jobs are there, 1 2 3 4 5, and this A machine and this B machine, and here in hours the time is given in hour. So 2 hour, 3 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 1 hour, 3 hour, 2 4 1 5. So here I will take 6. So select the smallest processing time from the given list of processing A1, A2. This is the job number 1 loaded on machine A. What is time required? Job number 2 loaded on machine A. So this I will call it as for this A1. Okay. Job number 2 on A. A2. This is called as A3. AN. B1, job number 1 on machine B. So this is your B1, this is your B2, BN. Nth time on machine B. Okay. If the minimum processing time AR, that is job number R on machine A, do the R number job first in the sequence. If the minimum processing time is BS on machine B, do it is in the last in the sequence. So for example, 5 jobs are there. I have to do sequence like this. Very important. Huh? So okay. Check the minimum time. If the minimum time is in the category of machine A, the job will be first. So here minimum time is there. So third job will be the first taken in order. And if the minimum processing time is B range, means if it will be from this range, let us assume that the 3 hours are less. Here I will say 4. Here I will say only 1. So if this is less, then I can say here this is operation, but it should be taken at the last in the sequence. So if from second category, it will taken as last. So if the minimum time processing time is from machine A, it will be taken at first. If the minimum processing is time from machine B, it will be taken at last. Okay. So let us assume that I have gone for one case. So here I will say 1, here I will say 2. So 3 completed. So I will remove the 3 from the list. I will have a look toward the list, and again I will apply the same rule, whichever is lesser, and I will go for sequencing. So in this way, I will go for sequencing all the jobs, and then I will find out the total processing time as per the sequence determined, and I will also go for determining the idle time. You will come to know when we will solve one numerical phrase. Okay, so I think rather than having just idea, you will be more and more clear after solving a numerical. That way, simple. Okay, so I will give you guidelines also for solving. So give attention, we will complete this one numerical. 5 jobs are to be processed on 2 machines, M1 and M2 are in order of M1, M2. So in that case, AB. Here, what is the order given? Here, the order given as M1, M2. See in the same light case like AB. Okay. Processing time in hours is given. Determine the sequence, totally left time and idle time. So we have to decide the sequence, then all the things will be can be done further. Okay. So now, friends, decide. This is the job number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Machine 1, what is the processing time required, and machine 2, what is the processing time required. Now try to identify a time which is lower. Put in the chart box which is lower. So 5, 2, 1, 6, 9, 7, 3, 8, and 10, 4. So I can say this one is the lower. So I will say this is the lower. If it is from machine M1, now here A and B was there. If it is from this category, it is that operation is taken, that job is taken as first. If it is from this category, it will be taken at last. So job number 2 will act as the first case. So I will process here. Job number 2 will be act as the first case. See the sequence. Here I have mentioned job number 2. 5 jobs are there. I have mentioned 5 columns. So job number 2 as the first case. Okay. So up to this. Okay. So job number 2 as the first case. For both machines, it will be after machine 1, it will go to machine 2nd. Now I will erase this. Now what is remaining? I have to apply the same cycle for the remaining. So let us move further. Job number 2 is over. Now 1, 3, 4, 5. 4 are remaining. Okay, this sequencing is given for job number 2. Now 4 are remaining. 1, 3, 4, 5. Friends, let us consider once again which is the lesser. So I will say now 5. Okay. So 5, 2, 9, 7, 3, 8, and 10, 4. So let in simple way I can say that this is lesser. So if the job processing time is lesser in category of M2 machine, if it is in M1, we are giving it to the first category. If it is in M2 case, we are giving it to the last category. So giving it number as last number and removing the cell. So I will give you giving the number as the last. Okay, so friends, here you can see 2 I have given as the first number, then 1 I have given as the last number. Now 3 are remaining, so let us proceed further. 3 are remaining. Now I will go for the same thing again. That way very simple numericals are there. Okay, which machining time is less? 9, 3, 10, 7, 8, 4. So I can say that 3 is less. 3 is less. So I will now 3 is in terms of M1. So assign it from the left side, earliest side. Don't take it to the last side. So whatever the sequence available in the left side, you will give the next number as 4. So I will erase this. Okay. And I will give the number as 4. So friends, see here. Okay. So 2 already taken, 1 already taken. Now next number is 4. So it is from machine 1. So I have taken on this side. If it's from other side, I might have taken here. Okay, up to this, okay. Now only 2 are remaining. Let us proceed. 9, 7, 10, and 4. So here I can say, friends, 4 is lesser, but it is from M2 side. So I will take on this side from last, whatever the place is available for allocation. So I will, this is number 5. So I will delete number 5 and I will put here number 5. So see friends, here I have mentioned number 5. And now only 1 is remaining. Why to go for the other step? So what was remaining? Give that number also. So number 3 is remaining. Number 3 is at the center. Okay, so number 3 is at the center. So friends, now see here what is the sequence. The sequence you can see as 2, 4, 3, 5, 1. 2, 4, 3, 5, 1. We have applied based on the minimum processing time. If the processing time is from first machine 1, then give it to sequence number 1. If the lesser processing time is from machine M2, then give it at last side, and coming last side to center, coming this side to center. In this way, we are solving the problem. Now sequence is finalized 2, 4, 3, 5, 1. Now we are moving to very important steps, friends. So here I will say, let us, I will check the sequence. So 2, 4, 3, 5, 1. This sequence we have finalized. So I can say here 2, 4, 3, 5 and 1. Okay, this is the given data I have taken for your ready reference. This is the given data. Now I will start using this data. So machine number 2 in at the start I will say here 0. What is time required? So 1 hour is required on machine M1. So 1 hour. Okay, machine number 2, after this 1 hour complete, the job will be given to this machine. So here 1 hour. And what is out time? 6 hours are required. So 1 plus 6 I will mention here 7. What is the idle time for this machine? So this 1 hour is idle until this job is on machine M1. There is no work for this machine M. So the idle time for this machine is 1 hour. Okay, next now I will mention this 1 hour here in time, this 7 hours here, and I will take the next job number 4. What is the job number 4 on machine 1? 3 hours processing time. So 1 plus 3 here, 1 plus 3, it will become 4. It will come here. Okay, already 7 hours are there. So after 7 hours the job can be loaded. The job is ready for after 4 hours, but the machine is not available. After 7 hours the job will be loaded, and here you can see what is the time for that particular case. 8 hours. So I will say here plus 8. For your understanding I will write here also plus 3. This is for your understanding purpose, and here I will say 15 hours. Whether the machine is idle, job is waiting, the machine is not idle. Idle time dash. Okay, then this 4 I will take down from here. This 15 I will take down from here. And now job number 3. So on machine 1 it requires 9 hours. So 9 plus 4, it will become 13. The next time is 15 hours. 2 hours it has to wait. And after this 15 hours, what is the time next? It requires 7. So 15 plus 7, here you can say 22. Okay, machine is not idle. Job has to wait for processing, machine has not to wait. Okay, then I will take this 13 as down and this 22 as down for your, and this is first problem. I am doing this all for your reference. 13 hours. So 13, job number 5. 10 hours. 13 plus 10, 23. The job will come after 23 hours, but the machine is free after 22 hours. 1 hour the machine has to wait. The job will come to this machine after 23 hours, M2, but the machine is ready after 22 hours. So here only you can say 1 hour lag is there, 1 hour idle time is there. And what is after 22? What will be the number? Here 4 is there. So 22, and what is this number? So 22 plus I can say 4. So here it may be 26. So if I will add this 4, it may be 26. And now here it not be 22. So the lag is there, but the in time after 23 hours it will in. So here I have to take 23 only, and this is for your understanding purpose, friends. And here it will be 27. Okay, next here I will take 23 as it is. Then what is the last job remaining at number 1? So number 1, the time is given 5. So I can say here 28 hours. 28 hours the job will be ready, but the machine is free after 27 hours. So 1 hour again it has to wait. Okay, so this 28 I will take further, and processing time here 2. So plus 2 I will take as 30. So from these, friends, you can conclude from this? What is asked? You have to ask, we have to calculate the elapsed time. So you can say here total elapsed time. We have finalized the sequence and we can say that it is 30 hours. And one very important, idle time 1 1 1. So you can say here total idle time is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1. You can directly say 3 hours. So here I will mention idle time equal to 3 hours. So what is asked in the problem? We have to decide further sequencing. So we have decided the order of sequencing. Then we have calculated the total elapsed time and we have calculated the total idle time. So in this way, friends, we have to solve the numericals as per as this part is concerned. Okay, similar, we have to take 2-3 numericals, but now friends, we will stop here. Thank you very much.